Social Psych and Mean Girls. Mean Girls depicts the transition of Katie Heron into her first public school. She's the new girl who was homeschooled from Africa, and she quickly learns high school is a lot different than what she's used to. There are many forms of social psych that you can see in the film. The most common examples would be obedience, conformity, and stereotypes. Character behavior in psychological terms. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Regina George is your typical popular girl. She's beautiful, she has all these people that adore her, she has the doting boyfriend, and Regina, along with the other plastics, were all examples of living up to the standards people had set out for them, and what they also believed that they were worthy of. Personal attributions. Janice describes how Regina has ruined her life because she spread rumors about her years ago, and Janice attributes her downfall to Regina's evil personality. Social norms. When Katie comes to the school, she doesn't understand any of the rules. She tries to leave class and walk out to use the restroom. She tries to move away from her assigned seat because she just doesn't get the social norms. Cognitive dissonance. An example would be on the first day, Katie skips health class to hang out with Janice and Damien. She realizes it's wrong, and she doesn't want to do it at first, but she justifies it because she wants to make some new friends. And then later on, as Katie gets to know Regina, she realizes, I could hate her, and I still want her to like me. So even though she can identify Regina isn't a nice person, she still wants to be around her and be accepted by her. Stereotypes. An example would be the cafeteria layout, because it's entirely built upon stereotypes. People are divided by their race, their intelligence, their athleticism. There's the cool Asians, the band geeks, there's jocks, it's everything like that. They're all very one-dimensional groups. And even the individual characters are essentially caricatures of a person. So Karen is the typical dumb blonde, Janice is the weird emo girl, Damien's the gay best friend. Prejudice. You can see this throughout the film, mainly by the plastics, as they kind of alienate girls who they deem unpopular, and they have the burn book that talks more about that. And however, it's just not them, because every clique at their school has issues with the other cliques, and they don't really intermingle that well. Explicit attitude. Katie realizes that she's taking the plan way too far with sabotaging the plastics, and she starts to plan things on her own. It's not even this funny little game anymore. She's like becoming Regina George, which is what they set out to destroy. And she says, I could hear myself getting bored, but I couldn't stop. Discrimination. Regina makes fun of Janice. She starts this rumor that she's a lesbian because Janice just wants to hang out with Regina, but she has this new boyfriend and she spends all her time with him. So she's like saying that Janice is obsessed with her, she's in love with her, and she doesn't invite her to her pool party because she tells everyone that Janice is a lesbian. And then Katie is repeatedly told, don't join the mathletes because it's social suicide. Modern racism can be seen when Katie goes up and says jumbo to a group of African American students. This African greeting they don't get because they're clearly from America. And yeah. Persuasion. This is used when Janice and Damien try and convince Katie to take down the plastics, get revenge for them destroying everyone's lives, especially Janice's, and they try and take her down. So. De-individuation you can see a lot with Karen and Gretchen, because they just follow the leader of the plastics, whoever that may be, whether it's Regina, whether it's Katie. They don't really have loyalties. They don't have a self-identity. They just go with whatever the leader does, and that shows groupthink as well. Following with that, conformity shows up a lot at North Shore High School because everyone just copies the plastics. They're teen royalty after all. And for an example, all the plastics, they have a set of rules. For example, they wear pink on Wednesdays. They're not allowed to wear their hair up in a ponytail more than once a week. They have certain days they can wear sweatpants. They have a lot of strange rules. They only eat lunch with each other. And this is also an example of compliance. And at one point when Katie becomes really popular, this girl says, I saw Katie wearing army pants and flip-flops, so I wore army pants and flip-flops. Passionate love is a type of romantic relationship including intense longing and sexual desire. So with Regina and Aaron, they show this type of love because they don't have the long-lasting, healthy relationships. They just show chemistry. Bystander apathy can be seen when Katie won't admit her part with the burn book, and it is a failure to offer help to people in need. Miss Norbury calls out to her directly during this speech, and she wants her to come forward because in the burn book it says that she is a drug pusher. She's obviously not. She knows it was Katie, but Katie won't do anything. Frustration aggression hypothesis states that the more frustrated we feel, the more likely we are to act aggressively. So when Regina's outraged by the betrayal of her friends, she acts out very aggressively. Along with that, aggression, after the plastics create the burn book, Regina shows it off to all the junior class girls. There's chaos. She wants Katie to get in trouble. She wants to play the victim. She's mad that she overthrew her as the head queen bee of the plastics. Obedience can be seen with Regina controlling the rest of the plastics, especially with Gretchen. A couple examples would be her not being allowed to wear hoop earrings because they're Regina's thing. And for Hanukkah, she says she got a pair of really expensive, beautiful white gold hoops, and she had to pretend she didn't like them. So, she also talks about how sometimes you think you like a boy, but you don't, which obviously is referring to her crush Jason, who Regina doesn't approve of. And Gretchen's also told to switch places with Regina before the Jingle Bell Rock performance, despite always having been on Regina's left. She takes this very much to heart, but in the end she complies. Mental illnesses. There are some indications of eating disorders. All the girls are very conscious of their physical appearance. They want to be societally accepted. At one point, Regina is trying to lose 3 pounds, specifically. Katie gives her some protein bars to eat, which are supposed to make her lose weight, but in reality, they're making her gain weight. And this becomes an issue. There's talk about her getting fatter and stuff like that. She goes on an all-carb diet. And they also Regina shows symptoms of possibly being histrionic personality disorder. And the other plastics could potentially be narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, dependent personality disorder, especially with Karen and Gretchen, and attention deficit disorder. So some of these would be considered abnormal, but with this movie, it doesn't really take it to that level because it's just kind of a funny, entertaining, exaggeration of what high school is like. So, overall, this is really a great film to use when you explore social psych. It covers a lot of the behaviors and theories we've discussed, but again, like I said, you can't really say that any of them have specific mental illnesses because they're kind of one-dimensional and they weren't created to accurately depict a thorough representation of these personality disorders. So that is all we have. Thank you.